They say betrayal feels like a knife in the back. But what they don't tell you is how deep it cuts when the hand holding the knife is someone you trusted with your life. My name is Michael Reed, and if you stay with me for the next 35 minutes, I'll take you inside the darkest year of my life, when love, lies, and betrayal pushed me to the edge. And revenge became my only way out. At 34, I thought I was living the American dream. Born and raised in Boston, I'd worked my way into a comfortable life. I had a solid career in finance, a townhouse I was proud of, and a woman I believed was my forever. Her name was Claire. She wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. The kind of woman who could walk into a crowded room and make it feel like the lights dimmed just for her. We met at a networking event. I wasn't looking for love, but she had this way of making every word sound like a promise. Within a year, we were living together. I trusted her with everything, my heart, my money, my future, but trust, I'd learn, can be the most dangerous currency of all. The first red flags were subtle. Late nights she couldn't explain. Credit card charges that didn't add up. Random business trips that seemed to pop up whenever I needed her most. I asked questions. She gave me answers that sounded reasonable, too reasonable. And I wanted to believe. Because when you're in love, doubt feels like betrayal of its own. Then came the night she forgot to lock her phone. A small mistake. A single text message glowing on the screen. It was enough to shatter everything. It wasn't just another man. It was two. And it wasn't just love she'd stolen, it was money. Accounts drained, investments transferred, my name tied to debts I never signed for. Claire wasn't my partner. She was my executioner, dressed in silk and smiles. When the dust cleared, I was broke, humiliated, and on the verge of losing everything I'd built. She didn't just leave. She walked out laughing, as if I'd been nothing more than a project to her. I thought about revenge that very night. But rage is sloppy, and I couldn't afford sloppy. So I went silent. To her, it looked like defeat. To me, it was the first step. For months, I dug. Every lie leaves a trail. Every secret leaves a fingerprint. She had built her life on deception, but she wasn't careful enough. Through old contacts, I traced her movements. Vegas, Miami, LA. She wasn't just breaking hearts. She was running schemes. Fake investments, false identities, men twice my age bleeding money into her accounts. I built a file. Names, numbers, bank records, photos, every detail of her con laid out like a blueprint. And then, I found her weakness. Claire didn't just crave money. She craved recognition. She wanted to be admired, envied, worshipped. It wasn't enough for her to steal. You had to know she was better than you. That was the crack I would split wide open. I created someone new. A fake identity, crafted from the very tricks she'd used on me. A wealthy investor with a reputation for throwing money at high-risk ventures. Through a mutual acquaintance, I let that persona cross paths with her. She took the bait. Of course she did. I watched her eyes light up when she thought she'd found her next big score. The dinners, the phone calls, the careful dance of seduction, it was like watching a predator circle prey. Only this time the roles were reversed. Every move she made I recorded. Every lie she told I documented. She thought she was weaving a web around me, but she was already tangled in mine. The night came when she asked for the investment. $250,000. She even slid the contract across the table, smiling like the queen she thought she was. I didn't sign. Instead, I handed her an envelope. Inside was a drive, every scam she'd ever pulled, every account she'd ever touched, every man she'd ever robbed, her face drained of color. For the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. "You don't understand what you're doing," she whispered. But I did. I understood perfectly. The files didn't just go to her. They went to the men she stole from, the authorities she thought she could outsmart, and the women she'd betrayed along the way. Within weeks, her empire crumbled. The FBI came knocking. The men she'd conned came looking for repayment. Claire Reeves, the woman who thought she was untouchable, was suddenly running out of places to hide. Did I get my money back? No, not a cent. But money was never the point. I got something better. I got balance. I got closure. And most importantly, I got to watch her fall into the pit she'd spent years digging for everyone else. People ask me if revenge is worth it. If all the nights of planning, All the months of silence were worth the outcome. Here's my answer. Forgiveness is for people who deserve it. Claire never did, so I chose revenge. And for the first time in a long time, I slept soundly. My name is Michael Reed. I was betrayed, broken, and left for dead. But in the end, I wasn't the victim of her story. I was the author of her downfall.